everybody. My name is Margaret Ogbonna. Welcome to Law Talking at BMAC Laws. I have with me the convener of Law Talking at BMAC Laws, Mr. Michael Biolong. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Margaret.
How are you today?
Very well.
I also have with me Mr. Fred Mashing. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Margaret.
So today we are going to be talking about consumer protection. And I'm going to advise you to sit tight and listen because you're going to learn a lot. So far, I have a question that is very personal to me. First of all, I want to paint a scenario to convert this question because this is something that is very common in our society today. Assuming there was a time, not even assuming, there are times where people go to the filling station to buy fuel and they end up buying adulterated fuel, and you find out that their car breaks down because of this fuel, and they go back to the filling station and they get a replies like we bought the fuel also, there's nothing we could have done, what do you want us to do, we don't produce this fuel, you know that. So what does the law have to say about this thing? What has the government done to help curb things like this in society?
Yes, I guess the question begs the answer whether government does care about
Yeah.
the populace and whether indeed government is taking steps to protect consumers, protect members of the general public. You know, the general notion is that government doesn't care. Government doesn't care. But indeed, government does care.
That's true.
Because those you find in government today were just other members of the society,
That's true.
just like you and I.
Yes.
And every day, laws are made to protect each and every one of us. But the question is, the people themselves, do they even care about their own well-being? Now, talking about the individual that bought adulterated fuel. Now, the question is there any law in place to protect consumers from instances like this? Adulterated fuel, you went to buy a product A, what you get is something else. You buy a bottle of water, you get you are given a bottle of Sprite instead. Yes, there are laws that are there to protect consumers
That's true.
Okay.
in instances like this.
So what you're telling us is that government has put in laws in place, and a person who is going through, who gets a substandard product, is supposed to implement or get the laws to be executed on their behalf. Do they have to do that by going to court?
Well, you know, ordinarily the court is where everybody goes to. Oh, look, I have an issue. They say the court is the last hope of the common man. However, there are out of the three arms of government, you know, we have the executive, we have the legislature, we have the judiciary.
Yes.
Yes, these three arms are all there to protect each and every one, each member of the society. So, if you look at the legislature, they also have committees set up in instances to investigate issues bothering members of the society. The executive arm too, they also have executive bodies, agencies that are there to protect consumers, members of the general public. So it's not just the judiciary that is there. Of course, the judiciary interprets the law like we all know, but there are instances where people can also approach these executive bodies
Okay.
to also enforce their rights.
Mm.
Yes, because some of those executive bodies do what is akin to arbitration or alternative dispute resolution.
Okay.
Yes, so if we say the judicial process is some would have argued that it's slow and the rest of them, but it's not everything that the only option left is the court.
Okay,
There
so
are also executive bodies that can also assist individuals. Like this fellow that bought fuel and it ended up being an adulterated fuel. So, oh well, should I go to court to go and sue the filling station and the rest of them? Well, if that is your decision, fine, but there are also executive bodies that you can also approach to enforce your rights.
okay, so an aggrieved person who gets an adulterated fuel, what is the identity given to this aggrieved person before the court or before the law? What's what is the identity of the person?
Very well. You looking at me, I want to believe that you're trying questions to me.
Yes, sir.
Very well. Well, such persons in the eyes of the law are called consumers. They can also be termed as, customers, as the case may be.
Okay.
Yes. The law recognizes such persons as consumers, and these persons who are consumers are the people who are the end users of either such a product or people who require service to be rendered to them. All right. So a customer is that person who want to use the particular goods for sale, or who request who request a particular service to be rendered to him.
Okay, so let me understand this. What you're saying is these persons are called consumers.
There.
So they are consumers because they want to use the product
There.
or services for themselves.
There. Correct.
So, do you know, I want to talk about, I'm not holding brief for the filling station,
There.
but actually this filling station
Yeah.
buy this fuel
Yes.
to sell.
Yes.
So they are not called consumers because they buy to sell.
There.
Is that
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Now, they are not termed as consumers because, you see, in the eyes of the law, and just like we say, that there are executive bodies that have been created. These bodies are created by law, all right? And
Okay.
also there are laws that that governs the operation, and there are laws that have been set up to regulate, both the consumer and the seller.
Okay.
All right. Now, this person is like the instance of a filling station. The filling station is not a consumer because they didn't buy to use.
Okay.
All right. They bought fuel to resell.
But they didn't produce the fuel.
Yes, even though they don't produce the fuel, in the eyes of the law, they are not consumers. In fact,
Yes, because
yes,
just like you didn't buy to use, the
Yes.
filling station bought the fuel not to put in their engine, but to put in their tank.
very well. Sir.
Okay.
Yes, and of course, the law is talking about the consumer, the person
consumer.
who bought the fuel to put in his tank. Of course, because fuel is meant to be used in the engine, right?
In the engine,
To
very well.
run an engine, not to
Yes.
put in the tank.
Okay.
So that means the person who bought to put in his tank for the purposes of selling to the person who is going to put it in his engine does not qualify as
A
consumer,
Very.
Okay.
but the person who bought to put in his tank. Of course, if the filling station buy it and put in their engine and not inside their tank, then at that point they too can become consumers.
Okay.
In fact, the interesting thing even is this: in the eyes of the law, they can also be even be classified as manufacturers. Yes, the law look at them as such.
Okay.
Very well.
Because they are not buying to use,
To use, yes.
but they are buying to sell.
So,
Because if you look at the recent law, the federal
Competition and
Yes,
Consumer Protection
Act,
yes,
yes,
2018.
exactly.
Yes.
It even classifies such individuals, the person who buy to resell, classifies them with the person who manufactures such product, because they are not buying to use.
So you are saying that the person who buys bad products to resell takes liability as if he was the one who produced the product.
Exactly,
Correct.
because the person who is coming to buy to use from you trusts your judgment that you are going to sell to him or her what he or she, demands, or what he or she needs, or what he or she requests from you. So if I come to buy a bottle of water and you give me a bottle of Sprite, put inside bottle,
Water,
a water bottle.
Okay.
You can't say, look, Sprite is even more expensive than a bottle of water.
Mm.
You should be thanking me for giving you Sprite. No, because I am the one who is going to use it. I know why I need a bottle of water and not a bottle of
Definitely.
Sprite.
Definitely.
Yes.
This is very interesting. So you talked about the fact that consumers have rights.
Yeah.
So what is the right of a consumer? In Since you've defined a consumer as the end user
Mm-hmm.
and anybody who uses the product for their personal, you don't have to resell. So what are those things that are considered the right of a consumer? At what point do I feel that my right has been breached?
The right of the consumer, to put it in simple terms,
Mhm.
is the right to have what he or she bought. If I if I approach the filling station to buy fuel,
Yes.
you don't give me diesel
Mm.
Okay.
and say this is or you give me water. So the right of the consumer is to have what he or she bargained for. Period.
Like what if I have what I bargained for, but it's not the best of what I bargained for?
The person who goes to the market, for instance, if you go to the market to buy a shirt made by, let's say, for instance, Dolce and Gabbana,
Okay.
and you go and give me fake one made somewhere
In Aba.
behind your house, you can't tell me that, look, it's still the same thing. You don't tell me that, look, for instance, using Dolce and Gabbana, say, look, if you are buying original Dolce and Gabbana, it's going to cost you maybe 50,000 naira to buy a shirt. But this one, how do you expect that you buy original Dolce and Gabbana for 5,000 naira? It's none of your business. Give me what I asked for and give me the price. If I'm able to pay, I pay. If I'm not able to pay, I cannot say, fine, give me the one that is 5,000 naira, knowing full well that it's an imitation.
So a consumer also has the right to the right information. Like you have to tell your consumer that this is fake, this is original.
Mhm.
So they now buy the goods. Who is going to buy fake products? Come on, come on.
Whoever wants fake products, go and buy fake products. Whoever wants to buy the original, don't give me fake and pass it for original and tell me that, look, the original is 100,000, but this one is 99,000. Why would you think it's no? Give me the original 100,000, fake 99,000. Let me say, okay, look, this fake look almost like the original. People won't know
Okay.
that I'm wearing fake. Give me the fake,
Very.
but don't pass off the original for me as
Yes.
the fake for me as
Even the law makes it clear. It makes it clear that for every item the consumer desires, it should be well spelled out.
Exactly.
Okay.
What the consumer is buying, the right information should be communicated to the consumer.
Exactly.
And you asked the question earlier. Now, if a consumer buys an item that is not satisfied with, if the consumer buys an item that is unsafe for use, the consumer by law has every right to return that item and get a full refund. Very well.
Right to refund.
Yeah.
Come on. Sometimes you even walk into supermarkets and they write there non-refundable, whichever you pick. So what do you have to say about that? I mean, if the product you bought, you've gone away from this premise and you're coming back to say, this is not what I expected. Give me back my money. That's unbelievable.
No, you see, the challenge in this part of the world is this: consumers are not taken seriously. The law frowns against any action, any arrangement, any agreement that's in restraint of trade.
Okay.
Yes, anything that will kind of stiffen trade, the law frowns against it. All right. Now, in other climes, consumers' rights are upheld. All right, they are given higher level of consideration. You cannot kind of come and give a condition. And these are things we experience here, most especially in Nigeria.
Yes.
Here you go to some places, they begin to give a consumer condition. No. All right? When a consumer buys an item from a shelf, It's expected that that particular item should serve a specific purpose.
Okay.
Right? When such an item does not serve or is not fit for purpose, the consumer has every right to return it.
Exactly, and
Yes.
it's not every product
Very well.
that you open while still at the supermarket or wherever you are buying it.
That's true.
Okay.
Of course, you go to the supermarket, you buy something, you are going to use it when you get home.
Mm-hmm.
So you are not expected to, for instance, you buy a, let's say, carton of sugar,
Yes.
and they write on it St. Louis,
Mm.
St. Louis sugar. And you know, St. Louis sugar, it dissolves easily. And then you get home, you put it inside water, the thing is like stone. You are trying to break it, the thing refuses to break. Of course, you know, this is not St. Louis sugar.
That's true.
And then you go back and they say, no, you have already taken it home. No.
You've taken it home and it's written there, non-refundable.
Yes, of course,
Like-
non-refundable. We agree. However, the law says you should not sell fake for me and pass it off as the original.
That's the original.
This is very interesting. But I want to find out something again. You talked about a consumer satisfaction not being restricted to product,
Very well.
also services.
Very well.
So I'm supposed to get the type of services I require from any organization, from any business. I want to ask this very personal question.
Yeah.
Every time I recharge my phone
Mm-hmm.
and I try to make calls and there's no network,
Mm-hmm.
is that also a breach of my rights as a consumer?
It is. It is because the Nigerian Communication Act, all right, also defines and classify, in terms of a consumer, also as a customer, also as a subscriber.
Okay.
Now, when you recharge, when you buy your SIM card, what you do, you subscribe to the service of that particular communication company.
Okay.
And what do? They give communication service.
Okay.
That is what telecommunications, that's what they do. They render communication service. Now, when you subscribe to a particular network, what you're doing is, look, they've done advertisement, you see, they've given you that, look, we have seamless communication service, either by voice or by, wireless or internet service, whatever their products are. They give you that confidence, they give you that assurance that when you part away with your money, when you give us your money either by buying SIM, when you give us your money by recharging, all right, you are going to get quality service. When such is not achieved, the consumer have every right to take them up for infringement of their consumer's right. Yes.
Yes, of course.
Wow.
Because when you recharge your phone, it doesn't matter what you want to use it for.
Yes.
What you want to use it for is your business.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They already told you that buying this credit, it entitles you to make phone call
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
or to send SMS.
Mm-hmm.
Now they've even added that you can use it to buy internet data.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So if I now want to make call and I'm not able to make call, or people are not able to reach me, don't you think as a consumer you're already infringing on my right?
Okay.
Exactly, because now I haven't purchased it. I purchased it because you told me that buying it entitles me to make call and send SMS.
Yes.
Yeah, regardless of what I want to, the essence of the call I want to make, it might be for business. It might be because I'm in trouble.
Does
it might
it?
be just to gossip.
Yeah.
It is my right to gossip. with my
Yes.
friends. Yes. People have died not having people to gossip with.
That's true.
People have committed suicide not having people to gossip with.
Agreed.
You try to call A to gossip with the person, no way. You try to call B to gossip with the person, no way. You try to call the third person to gossip, no way. You say, oh, I'm alone in this world. Then you start committing suicide. So,
Wow.
yes. No, we are laughing about it, but
But it's the
I mean, it is the truth.
Agreed.
Okay. So, I want to find out. There are times you go to the bank to also maybe get money or even try to use the ATM. And come on, you have money in there, but you can't access the money. Or you try to do transfer. All of these things, or the most annoying part of it, for me, when you are trying to maybe travel, you booked your flight, and then you are in the airport for like forever. Are these occurrences considered also as breach of my consumer rights?
Indeed, they are breach of your consumer right. If the bank undertook to give you banking services, I mean, they should give you banking services. That means when they give you checkbook,
Yeah.
they charge you for it.
Sure.
So that each time you present a leaf or a leaflet out of that, they give you money.
Okay.
If they give you ATM card, they charge you for it. That each time you slot it inside that machine, money comes out, right? So if you do that and money refuses to come out, I mean, they become liable to you. Talk about airline. You go to the airport, you buy air ticket to fly maybe from Abuja to Lagos, which is just barely an hour flight. And then, for instance, let's say the flight is by 10. You calculated it that look by 11 maximum I should be in Lagos.
Yes.
And then they keep rescheduling it till 12, and you are still at the airport in Abuja waiting to fly to Lagos.
Yes.
I mean, these things have a ripple effect. You might have scheduled an appointment for 11:15 in Lagos, hoping to take the next flight back to Abuja after a 15-minute conversation in Lagos.
Okay.
Exactly. So they are liable to you. And in such instance, you should be able to enforce your right as a consumer.
So are there consequences? Because we've talked a lot about...
Before you even say about the consequence, let me just add to what our honorable convener said. You see, the consumer in Nigeria has been kind of, positioned to make it look like people who sell products or who render services as if they are doing them a favor. The bank makes the consumer look like, oh, look, we are doing you a favor. No. All right? Now, for every person who opens an account with a bank, all right, one is not free.
Okay, yeah.
You see, for every of their product, for every of the services the bank renders to you, they collect their money. Now, you might look at 2 naira, 5 naira, sometimes unexplained deductions.
That's
Maintenance
very hard.
this, bank maintenance charge, bank VAT, so a kind of, series of charges.
Apart from the fact also
Yes.
that you are giving them free liquidity.
Free liquidity for their use.
Yes.
For their use.
Some people want to do business, there's no money, but you put your money in the
You
bank.
put your money
You
there.
leave it there for 30 days.
Yes.
They have free liquidity.
Yes.
They make money from your money.
From your money. So I think it's high time that consumers begin to run with this consciousness that, look, you are not doing me a favor. We're in business.
Rather, I'm doing you a favor.
I'm doing you a favor. So, not until consumers begin to take up these issues and take up this challenge with, the appropriate, going to the appropriate authority and enforce their right. The right of a consumer in Nigeria will continue to be such that it's stiffened. But that's the essence of this communication, this discussion, so that consumers will gain more knowledge and insights to their rights.
So my question is, are there consequences? Because we have all of these things. What is going to be done to an individual who sells substandard products? What is going to be done to a company who fails to render the proper services as you have paid for? Are there consequences?
Yeah, of course there are. You recall what happened, similar instance of what happened to us some time ago.
Very well.
Okay.
When we got someone to install the solar inverter system
Very well.
in the firm
Okay.
so that we can have an uninterrupted power supply.
Yes.
And the thing was, it was not, what he told us he was giving us.
Wow.
So I can safely say it was not suitable for purpose,
Very well.
what he gave us.
Correct.
Of course, we took it up with him and we approached the relevant agency. And well, luckily for him, he advised himself and made a refund. Yes, so we took it, we collected the refund, and if not, damages, costs would have been slammed against him.
Cost of how much for the individual?
Upward of 10 million naira.